So this is the briefing video for the Lignocaine experiment. So here at the top of the slide we've got an overview of what reactions you're performing. So it's a two-step reaction to make Lignocaine, which is a anaesthetic. So the first thing is an acylation to form an amide, and then an SN2 displacement with an amine to give you Lignocaine. And so through these two steps, you're really repeating a lot of the core skills that you have performed. So it's a very standard synthetic experiment with practice and repetition of core techniques. But there will be some techniques which you perhaps haven't performed for a long time, in particular like things like TLC, for example. So it's helped to refresh your memory and keep your skill level honed with these techniques. So in terms of laboratory skills, the videos are ones which you will have probably encountered before. So do just focus on the ones which you're least familiar with, or ones you're uncertain about, like TLC, for example. Okay, so you're allocated 2 days to perform this experiment, but this gives you a rough overview of how long each step should take. So the first step should actually take about 3 hours to perform. So maybe one morning session. The reflux for the step 2 is about 90 minutes. So all in all, including setting things up and allowing it to cool down, you're looking at around 2 hours or so. So you can imagine you can get this done within the first day. And then the second day, you can do the workup and the analysis of the second step. Okay, and so we're leaving extra time in case you do need to maybe repeat anything, or any of these steps take longer than anticipated. Okay, so one of the key tips about this reaction is that you must make sure that the first compound that you purify is first compound that you make is pure. Because if not, if you've got unreacted starting material, then that is going to affect how well your reaction is going to work. So there's a recrystallization procedure that you can perform if your reaction isn't pure. So that's what you're using TLC for in this reaction. If I go to the first slide again, it's to check that you've only got your chloroacetinolide intermediate and no aniline present after the end of the first step. And if you have, then the recrystallization is simply to remove the aniline. So you've got to keep checking your TLC and make sure that you don't have any starting material left over. Otherwise, that will affect the purity and yield of your final reaction. Okay, so that's the overview of the Lignocaine experiment.